Americans are moving to Japan, okay? For its safety and affordability. Insider story. By the way, can you guys imagine Ricky living in Japan?
Yeah.
Right? What would happen? What's your name? You know.
Sumo wrestling, maybe.
The number of Americans relocating to Japan has seen a steady rise with 6,642 individuals making a move in 2022. The population of American expats in Japan has reached 60,804. A significant increase of 57,000 in 2020, according to the country's Ministry of Justice.
Wow.
Safety is a primary motivator for Americans choosing Japan as their new home. As Veronica Hansen, who moved to Japan with her family, explains, my children had to do active shooter drills. I just exploded and said, we don't have to stay here. Let's go. The country's reputation for safety and minimal presence of gun violence provides a sense of security. Affordability is another key factor driving the migration. Alex Evans, who moved to rural Mukaishima Island, emphasizes the cost advantages, saying, for a 3-bedroom house, I pay 65,000 yen, which is the same as $463 a month.
Nice.
If I were in Hiroshima, my rent would be more expensive. So, any consideration of wanting to move to Japan? Ricky, I'll go to you first.
I have a, you know what I would want to go, what I would want to see, Pat? How many of those are Japanese Americans versus just Americans?
So keep in mind, this is an insider story.
Right.
Insider story is typically leaning left. So the story they're trying to say, I don't know if you caught two or three comments they made.
I totally caught it.
Gun, you know, training, and you know, I have to be careful with this and be careful with that. So all this stuff about America, this is why I want to go over there.
Yeah, I think it's, look, here's the reality behind things. I love Mexico. When we go, you know, me and Erica, we have property in Mexico, we have family in Mexico. I love Mexico, and Mexico's, when it comes out to gun violence, is a lot more dangerous than America is, right? Because a lot of people don't know that you can't, it's not legal to carry guns in Mexico. But yet all the criminals in Mexico have the guns, and they sometimes, many times in gunfights, they outdo the military in Mexico. And so, but I would still not want to move to Mexico, though it's supposedly, you know, that's home or whatever it is. It's the motherland, but I wouldn't want to go back.
How come? Safety?
No, it's just because this is like, okay, good. You could live in Japan for $400 a month. Where's your life gonna go? What legacy you're gonna leave behind? Like, how many people are building businesses over there? You can say, wow, look what they left for their kids. Like, I'm looking at Pat right now. We went to his house to go have dinner earlier. By the way, incredible dinner, Pat. I don't even know what Saturday at the beginning. It was just like a bunch of green stuff. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat it, you know.
Some meatballs.
And then and I just saw meatballs. I'm like, I'm going for that immediately. But it was, you know. So anyway. So I'm like, you know, Pat has a couple, you know, guys, security guards here. He lives in a good neighborhood. You have to say you're like his guards are his. There's people in his gate before you go in. They're armed. There's people going around 24 hours. Like, bro, why don't you just build a business and go live in a safer neighborhood? Like, I don't have to worry about that happening in my neighborhood. I live in a gated neighborhood, it's 24-hour security. I don't ever think about, oh, my nephew's gonna get killed by gun violence. That it's just, you might. The only place I would have to worry about that is where I grew up in East Bakersfield, where that makes sense. But why don't you go, instead of running away from building something big, why don't you stay where you're at, build something big, and get out of the neighborhoods that potentially can have those things happen? Because like this whole shooting, oh, there's guns everywhere, that's a bunch of bullshit. It's not true. Yeah, we have a lot of guns everywhere, but they also don't tell you how many times guns have prevented mass murders and how they protected families. You go to Japan, yeah, cool, bro. They don't nobody has guns, but the government can turn on you whenever you want. Like, it's so crazy to think that giving the government that much power over you, and some people literally want to do that, that's excruciating to my brain to think that you will only want the government to have power over who controls the guns. Every time that's worked out, every time that's happened, it's never worked out good for the population. So no, I wouldn't move. I don't care. I don't care if gun violence went up by 100% in America. I still wouldn't move because I could still move to a safer neighborhood and I could have security like you do. And that's it. That's you know. Well, does it have to really resort to? Yeah, bro. We're humans. That's what it has to be resort to. People have been killing each other. Do you guys forget the first murder in human history was Adam and Cain and Abel. It was one brother killing the other. You're never gonna run away from this shit. Like, come on, get real, bro. Like, people are gonna kill each other no matter where you go.
For a second there, I thought Adam killed Eve. I was like, no. I gotta reread.
I'm sure he thought about it.
I gotta reread that story.
I'm sure he thought, like think about this.
That came in Dave,
don't give this guy any ideas, bro. My name's Adam. I can't have that on my record.
Dave, think about this. The first murder in human history were God's grandchildren, literally. They were like, it's like Adam and Eve, then God. That was grandpa. His grandkids killed each other. And you think that you're gonna run away from this when this is part of our DNA, no matter where you go in the world. Sometimes you guys forget that Japan went to China and threw the babies up in the sky and would catch them with bayonets with the knives and their guns. Like, you don't know your history if you think Japan is so peaceful. I also have a very bad history when it comes down to that. They went into China, threw them up in the air, and would catch them with the knife of their bayonets. Read your history book, see if you still want to move to Japan.
Yeah, my father was born during World War II, and he was 2 years old and was taught during World War II by my aunt, his older sister, how to play dead in the streets in Manila, because the Japanese go through the city and bayonet everything.
Bayonet everything, am I lying?
Yeah.
The Japanese Empire was absolutely vicious, one of the most ruthless militaries ever.
For sure.
They have been a lot cooler since then, but they were pretty bad. They were pretty bad for a while, just for the record.
So during my time in the Marine Corps, I got stationed there for a year. So I lived in Japan for a year on Okinawa. And I can tell you this about Japanese people. They're very disciplined.
Yeah.
They're very kind people. They love their family. I mean, if you talk about safety and security and education, by the way, you see the way Japanese teach the kids how much further advanced they are in terms of intellect and understanding subject matters. They're way out there. So, you know, if you're looking at a safe country to go to where your money can go, I mean, people leave all the time to come to America.
Yep.
We're facing a time right now, people are leaving America. I can't tell you how many times in our offices, we do BOMs on a weekly basis, twice a week in our offices. I can tell you how many times people are saying, you know what, let me go to Panama, let me go to Belize, let me go to Japan, Singapore. Let me leave America, because the product of America isn't as shiny and strong and as attractive as it once used to be. And it hurts me because I'm a patriot, I've served this country, and I love our home. But people aren't thinking about, I got a guy DMing right now because he's not wanting to leave Thailand. He's in Pattaya Beach, Thailand. He loves Thailand. And when you're looking at these stats, when you're looking at other countries making themselves attractive to Americans, yeah, what do you say, Patrick? If you don't take care of your people, somebody else will.
Somebody else will.
I'll say one thing. I love America. Like,
amen.
I mean, I love this country, born and raised in this country. My great-grandparents fled the Bolshevik Revolution. Grandparents fled Nazi Germany. Like, I love America. I'm so thankful that I'm born in America. What did Jamie Dimon say about America recently? Like, we were dealt an amazing hand. We have peaceful neighbors on the north, Canada, Mexico, besides Ricky. And then we have the Atlantic Ocean, and we have the Pacific Ocean, we have capitalism, we have free markets. It's an amazing situation that we have here. And rather than cut and run and move to a different country, that's what I think is so amazing about what we do here, having these conversations. How can we improve our country? We are still the greatest country on earth, okay, by far. And it's incumbent on all of us to have these types of conversations. What can we do to improve? Because the politicians on both sides are fucking it up. Their approval ratings are in the dustbin. And it's, I think that's what's so powerful about what we do here. So let's figure this thing out.
Yeah, you know, I'm part of stories like this. When you read it, you know, you have no idea how many of these guys moved there because of COVID, because of school, and because of education, because of families, because of military, because of a job opportunity, because of, you know, one of the, when you were in the Army, people wanted to go to Japan to be English teachers and school teachers. It was an easy job to have, and you're right next to Okinawa. It was a good base. It was a great place to find a wife. It's lesser of a hookup culture, so maybe not good for you. But Japan.
But Pat, you've said something that I just want to bring up.
Yeah.
You know,
don't get upset. I'm sure there's some hooking up going on there. I know you don't want to get upset about it, but
thick skin. You've given the restaurant analogy about America.
Yes.
And that still rings true. And you've also brought up the #1 concern for a mother, parents, but mothers specifically, is their children's safety.
For sure.
Like, if your kids are not safe, you're going to move. Move
Sheena talks about
neighborhoods,
it all
like
the
Ricky's
time.
talking about, move countries. The restaurant analogy, I think, is still very, very good analogy that you use about America. I don't know if you want to explain that right now.
America's got a waiting room of people wanting to come here, leading the world with 41 million immigrants that are here. There's no such thing as the Russian dream or the, you know, Japanese dream or the Chinese dream. There's only the American dream, and that's going to be there. But the part about that is we have to do our part to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, Yankees, they haven't won a, you know, what do you call it, World Series since when? 2009,
Well,
right?
they just got a new owner.
Hell yeah.
Good news for that part. But you think about it,
Pat Steinbrenner over here.
you think about it, in any place you're in, For you to be arrogant to think it's going to be like this forever, you're a fool.
Yeah.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.